losing blood, and I'm being carried out on a stretcher and in the back of an ambulance and heading to the UCI Medical Center, and I started having what they call the OBE, out of body experience. I'm going in and out of consciousness. I had an NDE, which is a near death experience, where I knew my life was done. But as I'm entering and exiting, it's like, what the heck? Like, I think I'm going to hell. I just have this feeling.
Were you seeing your body as you were exiting your body?
Yeah, yeah. I was going in and out, seeing myself in the emergency room. My mom was there holding my hand. I'm going in and out of my body. I see myself go back in. I'm in eternity, coming back to the temporal world. So I'm just going back and forth, two different realms, back and forth. And there came a time where I just didn't come back to my body. And I started sinking, and I felt like I was just falling down an elevator, but it just never went back up. The horror of sinking is like oh wow, this is it. I'm heading towards eternal something. The Asian grandpa's gone, because I was gonna ask him questions like, what's next? You know, like, are you gonna show me heaven after, or? But he's gone, and I'm just by myself, just sinking and sinking, and I sink, roller coaster falling, elevator falling, but never going back up, and boom, I land. And I look around, Pastor Vlad, and you gotta understand, as a Buddhist, I was a pretty good person. I never sold bad drugs. You know, I sold weed, but someone's gonna sell weed, right? I've never hit anybody when they were fighting. I always watched. I lied and cheated, but like for good reason. It was always a soft lie, sweet lie.
So in your worldview, you consider yourself a good person?
Yes, yes. I've never thought myself as a sinner that deserved hell. I always thought I'm good enough to go to heaven. I'm good enough. I'm better than the other sinners.
If there is a heaven,
yeah,
you'll be there.
Yes, yes. But here I am in hell, which I don't believe in. And when I landed there, Pastor Vlad, this place has no light. You know, there's light right now. There's no plants. It's dirt everywhere, dry ground. It was, and it was. I was not alone. It was so crowded, so many people there. So I didn't know hell was gonna be. I didn't even believe in hell, but here I am. And there's many people there, and the demons are not small, like the ones that are sitting on your shoulder, like, eat the cookie, don't eat the cookie. These things were huge, like 3, 4, 5 stories tall. They had capes on. I knew there were gods in this place, and they were in charge of this place, and no one had to teach me. I just supernaturally knew. I looked to the left. There's a huge cliff of just rocks. There's no plants, like dry, cracked walls everywhere, like purplish rocks, like purple, dark rocks. I look up. It's just pitch black. Like, how could this place be so dark? And the pain that I felt spiritually, emotionally, physically, socially, whatever, was just magnified 30, 60, 100-fold. It's something no human being should experience, because at least on earth, there's a little bit of God. There's God, common grace, what the Bible calls for all types of people. Sunlight, food at least. There's an end to pain. But here in hell, there's no end. It's constant pain, eternal separation from God. And I look to the left, it's crowded. I looked to the right, it's crowded. I remember once too, when I looked briefly, there was like a chain going through my stomach, and it really hurt. And I was like, oh my gosh, that hurts. And there's so much pain, you can't ask the person in front of you, like, how you doing? What's your name? You're just in agony. And for the first time, I knew in my existence that I was a sinner. I just supernaturally knew that I was a sinner. Yeah, I deserve to be here. I'm a bad person. I deserve to be here. Of course I deserve to be here. And I didn't even know why. I just knew I was a sinner. Number two, I supernaturally knew this place is going to be forever. That I'm never getting out of this place, Pastor Vlad. I'm going to be here forever. So by God's grace, I tasted eternal death for I don't know how long. I mean, physically it was 8 hours, but it felt like 15, 20 minutes.
And so, did you interact with anybody there? Did they say anything to you? Did these demons also, did they hurt you there?
Yeah, to be frank with you, like I said, there was no way I could say hello. I'm just in agony, like burning, like.
Were they also in agony?
Yeah, but I didn't even look at their face. Okay. You're just in so much pain. All you can think about is yourself and the pain, and you just see the demons. We had no chance to talk. I don't remember saying any words in there. I was just,
Okay.
Yeah, and then the demons didn't talk either, but they were walking around, and they were just kind of looking around, and I was like, wow, these things are powerful. They're going to torture me. Like, they're gods, and I'm going to be here forever. So now I know from the Bible that's the hell that the Lord speaks of.
How did you exit that place?
Yeah. So
8 hours, they're working on you in a hospital. They're trying to bring you back to life, and you're pretty much descended into this place where you instantly go from thinking you're a good person to knowing right away, hey, I am a sinner who doesn't deserve to go to heaven, but I deserve to be in hell.
Yes.
The reality of this is not going to end penetrates your heart. What happened next?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was feeling, Pastor Vlad. What happened next is nothing short of a miracle and the grace of God. So my mom had one Christian friend, which was the mother of the drug dealer's house that I was in. She was praying that I would get saved and preach the gospel to her son and her lost friends, but she was Christian. She went to a very powerful church, spirit-filled, called Grace Ministries International in Fulton, California, where 2 years later I got baptized and became a pastor about 10 years later there as a youth pastor. And in this place, there's one local church by the grace of God, founded by Pastor David Kim, who's in heaven now. They planted 10,000 churches and baptized 1 million people. One local church. And I know why now, because even when I was going through this, they sent their prayer team. 8 of them came, pastors and intercessors. They came into the emergency room at the UCI Medical Center at the request of Mrs. Kim, the friend's mom. She sent them because my mom called her and said, "What do I do?"
So why didn't she call the Buddhist friends?
We did call the Buddhist friends. You know what their answer was, Pastor Vlad? It was shocking. They go, "We're doing a silent prayer this week." Out of all the weeks, they always help me until, they never really helped me, but they're like, this time they're doing a silent prayer this week. What timing, right? They're like, we cannot talk to you. In the spiritual world, we cannot talk to you. And I was like, that stinks, because I need your help now.
And so your mom reaches out to this friend. But isn't that like a betrayal of Buddhist faith when you reach out to Christians to help you pray, or when you're desperate, there's no atheist in the foxhole?
Yeah, exactly. So my mom was like, anyone that's gonna help me is the real deal now. And she told me after the fact, like, she's like, Steve, I started doubting Buddhism the minute you attempted suicide.
Wow.
Why isn't Buddha helping my son when we're praying to him for so many years? And especially you, Steve, you pray like 8 hours a day to Buddha. He should be helping out all the people. So she was so disappointed, and she was a non-Christian, fervent Buddhist like myself, and she started to doubt the faith. And then she calls a Christian friend, because she's the only one that picked up the phone and said, Mrs. Kang, my mom, this is spiritual warfare. My mom goes, spiritual what? Spiritual warfare. And she goes, let's pray. She goes, yeah, I'm open. Like, can our church come? She goes, please send them. They come to the medical center. Later, I found that they prayed for me for 8 hours. Lord, save. So you could be Calvinist, God predestines you, Armenian, where you choose God. I don't care. Prayer changes eternal destiny.